Howdy, Stephen Mogen here from Dark Shadow Recording. I'm out on the road with the Sam Bush Band, and I've got 6 tips to help you make your band rehearsals more effective. Tip number 1, stay on task. Now, I know that's kind of self-explanatory, but if we get to a position where everybody's tuning and talking and telling stories, you're not getting a whole lot of rehearsal done. So what I recommend is rehearse for 45 minutes solid and then take 15 minutes off, or any combination that works best for your group. But make sure that when you're in the room rehearsing, working on music, that you're actually working on music.
What did you mean when you said what you said? That you never left me now, I don't believe.
Tip number 2 is know what you're trying to improve. This goes to staying on task, of course. If you don't know why you're running through a song, then why are you running through that song? Make sure that you have an end goal. Maybe you're trying to tighten up the harmonies. Maybe you're trying to get the ending right. Any number of reasons for running a song, but make sure that you're not just playing songs to play songs. And make sure you know what you're trying to improve.
If I wasn't blessed with a crepe paper heart, so easily torn, no hope in mending, I would have resisted you.
Number 3 is for when you found something's wrong. So say there's a bumble in the harmony vocals at the end of the chorus. Well, the technique I want you to think about is identify, isolate, rehearse, and reintroduce. So we're going to identify the spot that's wrong. Say it's a funny note at the end of the chorus in the vocal line. So we're going to identify that. Then we're going to isolate it. So if it was just in the vocals, we're going to take only the vocals and just the guitar and work through just that one line and fix it. We're going to rehearse that bit, and then once we feel we have it right, then we'll reintroduce it into the greater song. The temptation is when folks mess something up, they go back to the beginning of the song and then start over again. But by the time you get to where you messed up, you probably forgot you were trying to fix something. So this way, you're identifying, isolating, rehearsing, and reintroducing, and that is just a more effective way to get to your end result. Tip number 4. And this one you've all been waiting for. Yes, you need to practice with a metronome. Not only do you need to practice by yourself with a metronome, but when you're in ensemble work, working in a band, you need to practice with a metronome. Every iPhone has an app, every phone has some kind of app that can be had for free that will give you a metronome click or doink or whatever, and you can plug that into pretty much any kind of stereo, any way that you'd want to amplify that for your group, and just play along with it until it feels like an extra member of the band that's just playing along for the ride. It really is painful when you start doing this, but the more you do it, the more comfortable it really becomes. And what it does, it trains you to, number 1, play in time. It trains you to rely on your fellow musicians for their timing. And it also trains you to do a certain song at a certain speed. So if you're doing Blue Ridge Cabin Home and you do it at, whatever the metronome marking is last week, you do it at the same metronome marking this week, it gets you used to doing the song at that tempo. So when you take it to stage and you don't have a metronome, you're inclined to just go ahead and play it at the correct tempo or near the correct tempo. That's super helpful. It saves a lot of arguing too, is saying, oh, you're rushing, you're dragging. Well, let's check with the metronome. They don't lie. Tip number 5 is to organize your rehearsal, not just with new songs, not just with old songs, but split it up between your mastered catalog, spend a certain amount of time on tunes that you've known for years and you've always played and that kind of thing. It's good to be familiar with things and keep them fresh. And then you want to look at your freshest catalog, the stuff that you're touring with right now, or the things that you've already worked up and you're nearly ready to play, or you've even started to play them out on the road. And then devote a certain amount of time to things that you're working up for the future. So whatever percentage you feel like for any of those kind of things, I'd say the bulk needs to be in the fresh material, the things that you already know how to play, but you're working on perfecting. And then a little portion to the old stuff and a little portion to the brand newest stuff. If you can think about it like a teacher would do a lesson plan, just allocate a certain amount of time for each of those things. Make sure you know how much of that time you're going to use with your amp metronome practice, and kind of organize it in that way. It'll be easier to navigate your next rehearsal. Tip number 6 is to audio or video record your rehearsal. Not the whole rehearsal, just the finished product of each song, so you can have an idea of what it really sounds like, because as you play it, you kind of have a skewed version of what it's all gonna be. So take your cell phone, take a camera, what have you, record a song when you think it is near to perfection, and then on your next rehearsal, devote a little bit of time to listening through those songs and figuring out what could be better, what could be tighter. Get excited about things that are really working, and dig in on the things that really could be better and aren't quite working yet. It's a good tool, and the recordings don't lie. You have what you have, and you're able to step back from the emotion of what it felt like to play that and listen to what it actually is. And that's really helpful when you're trying to address the larger picture and what your whole band is doing. If any of these tips have been helpful for you, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share with your bandmates. If you can think of another tip that would be helpful for folks, leave it in the comment below. And also, give us a comment about what you'd like to see us cover next time, and we'll catch you on the next video.